Oh, Emmerdale. Just when we think we've caught our breath, you plunge us right back into the icy depths of heartbreak and absolute terror. If you, like me, are still reeling from the latest goings-on in the village, find a comfy seat and let's unpack this together. Because what we witnessed this week wasn't just another shocking death. It was the chilling evolution of a monster hiding in plain sight. John Sugden, the man we thought we knew, has just committed an act so cold, so calculated, that it's left us questioning everything. Let's start at the heart of the pain, Nate's funeral. The air in the Dales has been thick with a grief so raw you could almost touch it. For weeks, that grief has been a toxic wedge between Kane and Tracy, two people united by loss but torn apart by blame. Seeing them hurl accusations at each other was gut-wrenching, each word a testament to their shared agony. But this week, something shifted. In the quiet aftermath of the funeral, amidst the wilting flowers and unspoken sorrows, the anger finally subsided, leaving behind a fragile, shared purpose. They stopped fighting each other and decided to fight the real enemy. They're going to find Nate's killer. You could almost feel the air crackle with that classic Dingle resolve. Kane, with his brooding intensity and street-smart instincts, and Tracy, fueled by a mother's righteous fury, teaming up. The killer should be shaking in their boots. And someone was shaking. Enter John Sugden, the friendly neighborhood doctor, the pillar of the community, the secret murderer. The dramatic irony is almost too much to bear. As Kane and Tracy forged their new alliance, vowing to leave no stone unturned, John was right there, lurking in the shadows, his ears catching every single word. Can you imagine the cold dread washing over him? The two people most likely to uncover the truth have just declared war, and he's standing in the crossfire? His next move was pure manipulative genius. He approached them, his face a mask of concern and empathy, and offered to help them find the very person he sees in the mirror every morning. It was a chilling performance, but Kane, in a moment of pure instinctual wisdom, shut him down. He didn't know why, not really. It was just that old Kane Dingle gut feeling, the one that has saved his skin a dozen times before, telling him to keep this investigation in the family. John was left on the outside looking in, and the panic truly began to set in. We then saw a side of John that hinted at a fractured soul. He made another desperate, anonymous call to a helpline, his voice cracking as he confessed that everything was spiraling, that the walls were closing in. For a fleeting moment, you might have felt a sliver of pity. Is there a conscience buried deep down in there? Is he a man tortured by his actions? But that fleeting moment was shattered by the arrival of his colleague, Liam. And with that interruption, fate, in its cruelest form, intervened. Liam, completely oblivious, started venting about a difficult patient, a man struggling with addiction, using drugs and alcohol to cope with his demons. A man named Owen, the very same Owen who spiked Robert's drink. As Liam spoke, you could see the horrifying gears turning in John's mind. A scapegoat. The universe had just gift-wrapped him a perfect, ready-made scapegoat. Owen was already a pariah in the village, a man with a history of destructive behavior. It was too perfect. The flicker of a tormented conscience was extinguished, replaced by the cold flame of a sinister opportunity. When John checked his call-out list for the day and saw Owen's name on it, it felt less like a coincidence and more like a date with destiny. This is where the episode went from tense to terrifying. John's arrival at Owen's house was steeped in dread. The silence, the unanswered door, the sense of decay hanging in the air. Pushing his way inside, he was met with a scene of utter despair. Owen, lying unconscious on the sofa, surrounded by empty bottles and the debris of a life in freefall. And here, at this very moment, John stood at a moral crossroads. For a split second, the doctor inside him took over. He whipped out his phone, his thumb hovering over the numbers to call for an ambulance. He could have been a hero. He could have saved a life, and perhaps taken a first step towards saving his own soul. He didn't. In a decision that will surely haunt the Dales for months to come, he put the phone away. The doctor was gone, and only the killer remained. He saw his way out. He saw how to frame this broken man for a crime he didn't commit, burying his own secret under the tragedy of another. And as he began to hatch his plan, his blood ran cold. A noise at the door. It was Liam, his concerned colleague, coming to check on Owen himself. What followed was a heart-in-the-throat sequence of pure panic. John, scrambling to the door, fumbling with the lock, managing to bolt it just as Liam turned the handle. He was safe, but only by a hair's breadth. The close call didn't deter him. It galvanized him. With Liam gone, John moved with a chilling new purpose. He sat at Owen's laptop and with cold, methodical precision typed out a suicide note, a full confession to Nate's murder, written by a man who couldn't even open his eyes. Then he meticulously wiped the house clean of any trace he was ever there, a ghost erasing his own footsteps. The final, gut-punching scene saw John back at the surgery, looking Liam straight in the eye and lying with an ease that was terrifying. "I stopped by," he said calmly, but he wasn't home. The lie dripped with poison, made all the more potent by Liam's genuine concern as he pledged to try again in the morning, completely unaware he'd be walking into a crime scene meticulously staged by the man standing right next to him. So, next week, we will see the fallout. We will see Owen discovered, the note read, and the village, most likely, breathe a sigh of relief that the killer has been found. John has played his most audacious card yet, sacrificing a vulnerable man to save himself. But this is Emmerdale, and secrets have a way of clawing their way out of the grave. Will Kane and Tracy buy this neat and tidy conclusion? Or will their instincts tell them that the real evil is still out there, perhaps closer than they could ever imagine? John may have won the battle, but the war for his soul is lost, and the war for the truth has only just begun.